Welcome back to Late Night Gunpla with Talon Omega. This is Talon Omega. We are continuing the street build of the HG1, the Zaku 1 high grade. The, well, not exactly a snap fit. It is a street build, although, as I have been saying, I will probably be doing some painting to this just to kind of practice the painting techniques. Last week we started in on the leg piece, kind of got it snapped out and kind of glued together both the upper and lower leg, and then last week we finished up the skirt, so we've got most of the high grade ready to go now. We will be finishing up the leg, but I think today, first off, I'm going to start with snap fitting together the backpack, because that looks all like it's pretty much just straight build, kind of put together. There's no gluing, there's no seaming that needs to be done there, so I will be doing that, I believe, just to take care of that. And then I will take care of the sanding of the legs. That'll probably be done. I mentioned last week that I am contemplating ordering the spray booth, dithering on it again. I know which one I want. I've got the idea of it. I just am now kind of hesitating on the price of it. I know what I want to do, and looking at it, it looks like the dimensions actually would fit in here. I think it's like 16 inches wide. I think the only issue is like 17 inches deep, so I definitely would have to clean up and probably move the stream deck around in order to get it. Most of this back here would probably have to be moved, and then it can definitely fit in here, or I can just kind of start it from here. Actually, no, I probably will have to get that out of the way anyway, just for the ducting, because the dimensions that I saw did not include the ducting. So, yeah, probably have to deal with that, kind of run it through the side, the windows back here. So, and then rearrange the camera setup and everything. Why did my camera freeze? Yeah, okay. I don't know what's up with that. Camera 2 seems to be doing that. I'm not sure what that's about. It was kind of doing it quite a bit last week. So, that's the idea. Finish this up. I may not go till 11, just because, again, it's just the sanding and the snap fitting of the backpack. Next week I will not be, or tomorrow I will not be streaming, because tomorrow I intend to go to the Ren Fair. And so, going to be spending a good part of my day there. I'm probably going to be completely drained, because I'm going to be going with the Spore and the Sporling. Viewer, welcome. Thank you for joining. Just kind of explaining the plan for today. I probably won't go, like I said, the full 2 hours. I'll probably end early. The idea of just talking. So yeah, I'm going to be sanding the legs, putting together the backpack. Talking, I have been running my 3D printer. I finally got got access to one of the soldering irons that I have, swapped out the tip, and I finally melted in the eyes down a bit, and melted down some of the kind of stringing along the back and at the chin. I did a lot of the melting on this bit as well. The lantern bugs holder, did a bit of welding, so plastic welding with the soldering iron. So I got that done. In addition, finally got the carving knife done, so I'm happy with that. I need to glue it together actually, and I'll probably be doing some sanding, and I think I'll do the Bondo and I think it's acetate kind of trick to kind of fill in any kind of lines and seams, and then doing a little sanding on this one. More sanding just to kind of get it smoothed out, and then this should be ready for painting as well. In the last thing, I don't have the prototype because the Spore ran off with it, but I've started printing out a Pokeball for her. So I've got that going on the Octoprint right now. So yeah, let's get into it. Continuing to build the Zaku one. Okay, let's go top view. Yeah. Why are you? You're not recording yet, so. There it goes. It looks a little better. Actually, just look a little off. Sorry, didn't get the chance to kind of prepare the stream today. Sporling is being difficult about getting her to sleep. So, yeah, let's move you out the way right now. Let's get you standing over here. And like I said, I will do the sanding of these later. I will do snap fitting first today, right now with the backpack. So, we are going with E6 and 7. No, yes, well, set the timer right now. I have to always set a timer for myself because top camera tends to overheat. And so also, for some reason, the quality goes down on the stream when I'm using top camera, when I'm actually recording. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm sure that's an OBS issue. Actually, no, it probably might be an in-camera issue because it's recording. All right, 7, E6. So, like I said, I will snap fit this together. That's just about done. No, it's got a lot of pieces still. Okay, so then D27. That's you. No, that's C. D. There goes. And 28, 29. Yep, and that's it for this one. This is going to be a little annoying just because these little kind of rocket exhausts. Okay, and that's D done. Right. So, enter C38. Where are you? B1. Oh, B. Like you're kind of a little thing, aren't you? Just seems like an extra piece. So, last little bits. All right. So, let's get back to this. Using my God hand nippers here. And I think I'll go ahead and use the glass file for this. Yeah, most of this is straight lines. So, not really much issue with me using glass file. We'll probably be using everything else for the other parts, particularly with the legs. Alright, now buffing. Oh no, yeah, this is buffing. No, which one's buffing? Yeah, this one's smoothing, this is buffing. And then back part. Ooh. problem with the buffer is that when it starts going, it kind of does leave really nasty streaks. So I've got to be careful with that part. Yeah, I'm getting these parts done. Kind of get it to follow the contour. Smoothing, so buff and shine. There it goes. Goes. Buff, shine. Yeah, see what I mean? Does that weird kind of effect. I'm not sure what that's about. So now I have to try to get rid of it with the glass file. Hope it comes off. It really goes deep. What's up with that? Alright. And the last one. So, yes, the intent is to go tomorrow to the Ren Fair. Hopefully the rain doesn't get too bad while we're out there. I'm claiming it's going to be raining a bit the kind of afternoon, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad. I was looking at the weather forecast earlier. It looked like just kind of chance of rain right now, so hopefully it stays as just a chance. Okay, no, it's just not getting it actually. Bit of a stress mark there. Okay. So how do you go? You'll go like this. Alright, so all of these are under gate, so I'm not gonna bother too much with sanding too much more on these. With the filing and sanding of this, probably just gonna do a little general on these parts, but I'm not going to be doing all the extra buffing. Yes, I forgot to announce. Yeah, today's musical selection is back to what is it, 80s or 80s love songs radio on my Pandora, because I got tired of looking for music on YouTube and they're all just covers. So, alright, this one, really. Are you an extra piece? Yes. Wow. Alright, well, let's see how that part works. So I guess way closer and closer with this one. So the thing is, this also has the injection molding seam, so we'll have to see how this works out. I may have to go over this one. Keep hitting. Yeah. Alright, this one we're gonna go. So starting off with 400 grit here. I'm just gonna slowly work my way up through all the different grits. Usually I want to try to go just one direction, but I think I'll do try to get this part into. Get rid of that seam line in there. This is a folded piece. Hopefully that'll go in a little better. Alright. Break time. Hydration time. I usually take these opportunities to get my little hydration in. No. Tell me that's still working. So keep an eye on my 3D print. It's acting up a bit. I know the filament I'm using has been kind of wonky, so it looks like the what I'm using to using a support isn't actually attaching, so we'll see if it'll still kind of print itself pretty well. I hope it does. Thank you for joining. You know, I've generally built a whole bunch of master grades. I've started going through some of my high grades. One, because they're gifted to me, and two, you know, because I want to practice a couple of build techniques So with this one, I really started working on trying to get rid of the seam lines, and I think for the most part I have done a pretty good job. The chest I didn't, just because I had a lot of weird crevices and stuff. But I think the leg I've done a pretty good job. The arms I think I've done a pretty good job. So we'll see how good a job I do on this other leg. This what is that? The right leg, left leg. Yeah, the left leg that I'll be working on later. Right now I'm just trying to get the backpack done. But that's where I am. Yes, that's right. So now that I've had my drink, let's go back to top view, just to make sure it's recording. So yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of the injection molding seam that's here. It's not even a seam line from the build, but it's a seam line that is developed from the injection molds that they used, just because it comes in two pieces where they come together. They leave a seam, as you can probably see on here. Oh, wrong one. There it goes. Yeah, I like that one. So yeah, there's that seam there going through most of it. Want to try to get rid of it. It's on down here too. So I'm just trying to get it out the way here right now. That canister thing is going to be kind of iffy. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. Yeah, this is the second Zaku one that I've built. I built the Zaku one Master Grade a couple of years ago. That was also pretty much just a snap fit. That was also a gift from someone. I think it actually was a birthday gift from a friend who knew I liked building Gunpla. And so he got me that. Alright, so that's 400 grit. Let's go up to 600 grit. Wait, why are you... No, what? Oh, yeah, that is 6. Okay. Welcome back, Urban Tech. Oh man, real grades. I go off on rants about real grades. I mean, they're nice kits. I tried to do a really good job with my real grade the one real grade that I built, and so it just kind of left me really frustrated. And it wasn't anything technical, really. It's a personal taste thing. It's like, again, it's not anything big. It was just how difficult it was to put all the stickers, and that was, again, I acknowledge that that's a me thing. I wanted to make sure that I had all the decals and stickers on, and so I went and put them all on. And the difficulty of putting them all on, I wound up having to use an X-Acto knife as the placement tool, because even the tweezers that I had weren't able to hold them properly. So again, it's like it's a personal preference thing. It's a stupid little thing, I know, I acknowledge that. Probably should try to build another one, because the concept is nice. The concept is really good. The idea of, basically high grade scale with master grade kind of detail work is good. I like that. Exactly. And I think that's the other thing. I like master grades because I got big hands. Or at least I say I got big hands. I got big meaty hands. I don't have the finger dexterity that I did when I was younger. So I think that's part of the issue as well. I want to be able to kind of hold it and not have my hands cramp up. I was having that a bit last week. What was I sanding? I was holding some part of it. I think the leg part. And just like, I think, well, again, the part that I'm holding these a little probably too hard. And so it was really causing my hand to cramp up. And just kind of the feeling that that doesn't quite happen as much. Thanks for joining. Doing pretty well. Should be finished with just the kind of quote-unquote straight build tonight. I was mentioning earlier, before most any of you came on, that I am kind of dithering on buying the kind of portable spray booth that I've been eyeing, because I want to try doing painting with this one. I've got a whole bunch of my Gundam markers up here. I've got the Gundam marker spray adapter that I want to try. And so, as I was mentioning, most of my high grade kits are, the idea is that they're just going to be my experimentation kits. And so I want to experiment with techniques. So I've been really working on these guys right now to at least here, again, a lot of this, the sanding, getting rid of the panel lining, so I can really start working a lot on my master grades as well. So that's kind of the idea here. Okay, so yeah, mostly got rid of that panel line. Yeah, I have to do this again too here. Probably need to put some more glue on this. I was intending to not do all this extra work, but the flashing line is just too jarring for me, so I'm making myself work through it. I thought I'd be done early with this today, but I'm not. Ooh. Which Zaku 2? Commander version or green version? For the perfect grade. I have an Urban Tech Bro. I have one of those. Well, I had one of those, and it generally lived outside on my balcony when I was living out in the San Fernando Valley here in Los Angeles. So, yeah, it's not in the best shapes. I tried to turn it on the other day, and it just didn't turn on. So I am contemplating buying another one, and that's what I'm stuck on right now, because a bit on the cost, and I know I've been saying, it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm willing to shell out the cost for it. But a little difference between the practice and the talk about it, the theoretical. Alright, almost. Let's go back to this one. Yeah, they do. I built the green version a couple of years ago, during a con, actually. I've told the story on here a couple of times, but I decided to make it a bit of an experiment of seeing if I could get a whole perfect grade done by the end of the con. So I built it at Fanime, man, I want to feel like 10 years ago now. Look at my file. Well, I'll check the file in like 3 minutes, because I think I saved the picture recently as the date, so I'll be able to see that. But yeah, built it over the weekend of the con, And I got the main body built, and I had to come back and finish the weapons at home, but still, I got the main body done, and so I was happy with that. Alright, I'm gonna leave that part done. Yeah, you're fine. I'm gonna have to get this. Yeah, and it was funny, while I was building that at the con, a couple people set up kind of around me to build their own stuff as well. So while I was building the perfect grade, someone was building the real grade command and char version. So we were able to kind of have it stand side by side to kind of see the difference in scale. It was really funny. Like, I thought I had a picture of it, but I don't. I was looking at it the other day talking about the story. But it's like, yeah, I think I had most of the leg done, and they kind of finished their kit and stood it up next to mine. And it was just like, the leg was still bigger than the main body of the real grade. I used to go to a lot of conventions back in the day. And I obviously fell off on that a lot once the first boar was born. So I've, like I said, I've fallen off on going to it. I think the only big one that I actually still go to, well, kind of big, and really kind of still go to, spend a day, maybe two if I can get away with it, is ALA. AX, I went last year mainly because I wanted to pick up more stickers for the backdrop here, which right now has been completely covered up by the instruction booklet, but I do like to show it off every once in a while. So yeah, AX used to be the big one, and I mean, it's my local con. It's always been kind of local. I've always lived here in LA proper. I joke that I actually grew up right around the corner from the actual convention center. So I say that's my local con. All right, break time. Pause you. Let's see. Yep, that stopped. All right, so let me look at the date on that. Zaku 2. Oh wow, it has been 10 years. Almost exactly. No, wait, what? It wouldn't have been this soon. No, the dates are off. They've got to be 3/24/14. No, the con is always in May, so I must have the days off. What's my finish one? Yeah. And then I had a picture of it at the end, standing next to my Psycho Zaku. Ooh. Wow, really? That is news to me. I didn't know the, oh, probably just for the clear one. Because, yeah, I don't remember mine having a clear heat hawk. Oh, it's hidden right now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there you kind of do have to. I totally get that. Yeah, like the 600. All right. Let's hydrate with some actual water. All right. Switch it back up again. All right, make sure you are. Yeah, you are going. All right. So yeah, really, yeah, AX is the local con. I grew up around there in the Pico Union area, and so it was always, didn't go there until after I stopped living in that area, so I wouldn't have been able to make use of the benefits of that. Just kind of like walking down the street, not have to worry about a hotel or anything. But moved out of the area quite some time before that. You know what? Just go with just so I can make sure I get into that groove there. Same with this one. Same here. Make sure I get all that. 8, 10. Wow. So yeah, that was a fun build. I enjoyed doing that, and like I also made a little sign for when I was building it at the con that just says like, feel free to interrupt me. I only look like I'm concentrating, because that was also the idea. Is like I wanted to make it a communal thing. I wanted to have it be a reason for people to kind of stop and talk with me. And so it did that. One of the bigger questions was, how do you pick your kit? And my big suggestion for everyone was go in, find which one you like, and start building that. Just stop. That was odd. My music stopped for a second. So yeah, people were asking about how to pick a kit. The other one was kind of surprised that I was able to kind of build it following the instructions, and this was when most of the instructions still came in Japanese. I mean, though most of them are this. You have the Japanese. Why is it? Okay, what are you doing here? Okay, I was playing 2 songs at once. There it goes. I don't know what that was about. And shine. Alright. Alright, so that part's done. This part goes in there like that. Alright. So now we've got this going in here. And these. A notch, making sure it's on the bottom. This time I'd really try to make sure I follow the instructions, because while building the channel's mascot here, Nipako, I wound up screwing up on the right leg and busting up the knee, so it just kind of locked up. Wound up having to get a friend who went to Japan to order the replacement piece for me, and just because it became too much trouble for him, he instead bought a kit for himself, gave me the part that I needed, And, he says he'll build the kit himself later. So, was able to complete Nipako. And, a year, actually almost a year to the date of starting it. So, C38. That's you here. C35 later. What these were. Did I miss those? Just not used. Ooh, they were. Huh. Oops. Oh. Well, let's get those out the way now. Just because I finally saw them. Talk about attention to detail that I was just talking about earlier. I missed this little attention to detail for the arms. And C is done now too. Alright. I'll get that one later. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Issue here. That goes here. Here. Yeah. And this big block engine kind of looking thing. Okay. Oui. Shoot. Keep talking about attention to detail. I keep making little careless mistakes. Ooh. Ah, shoot. These don't go through all the way, huh? No. Make do. Take that. Oh, it's panel line now. Alright. Alright. So now this guy. There it goes. Alright. Oi. Man, keep dropping the metal and the glass violin in my nibs piece collector. Gosh. Alright, time for a break here. Did I lose most of you guys? Is that what happened? I mean, charge is still connected. I don't know what's going on there. Well, we'll see how that works out. Alright. I've only got one person, one viewer on here. And you're still here. Okay. I mean, it says you're still here. The stats are always off a bit. Alright, well. Thanks for still being here, guys. But yeah. This one is a lot of the way done. I don't know how I'll be painting or what I'll be painting this one with. Alright, so just last piece, E8, E9. Yeah, so the last two pieces of this. Where are you? Okay, E8, E9. And then E will be done as well. And then, yeah, get these done, and then I'll get into sanding the left leg. Right, hydration time as well. Oh, yeah. And then redoing the arm parts to kind of put these little guys in there. Yeah, you can put that one on the bottom so it'll hide it better. Yeah. I missed it the last time though. C3, yeah. Oh well. Alright, so let's go with that again. Let's start up again. Yep, you're recording. Yes, so then I need E8, and then, like I said, E9. So let's just get those out now. Alright, and now E is done. So with that, all the snapping is done for this kit. Now it's just the last little bit of kind of trimming and sanding. This is why I wear the apron here, to keep, the pieces from actually falling away and disappearing under the desk. There's that one. finish. Although, sort of feels like I leave a bit of an angle on it when I use that. I don't know what that's always about. Maybe I just don't hold it properly. Alright, so okay. Then last little bit. Goes. I don't really need to do this part, but I am, just because. Alright, yeah, this part goes in there. So what happens here is now we get to use the special pieces, a little bit of wire and a little bit of kind of flex cording. Where's my Sharpie? Alright, let's do it up here, because that's what it's there for. Enough. Get rid of that bag. So this gets run through in here. So we got that. One part goes into there. One goes into here. Just kind of use this to kind of wedge it in. Okay. Ah. Alright. Okay, so now the thing with this is it's supposed to attach to the gun here. It's supposed to be, I'm not sure, either ammunition or kind of the, ooh, yeah, I might have to put some super glue in there, put some glue on the end of that and stick it in. Let me do that just to make sure it gets locked in there, because yeah, it's supposed to do that. Yeah. So supposed to do that. Yeah, that keeps coming out though. Really? How did I lose it? No, there it goes. I'm trying to see. There's some part that gets kind of lodged in there. Ooh. Seems to have done it. Okay. Wedged it in pretty well. It looks like that was needed. Alright. I swear this little antenna piece keeps coming out too. Alright. So backpack's done. Get the arms out. To do these parts. Need you. Just gonna have that facing down anyway. There it goes. So like that. This one, similar thing. Just gonna trim this down. So there we go. Excuse me. Okay. So that little antenna thing. So I'm gonna need to glue that in, aren't I? All right. So that's done. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna get rid of this yet. Wait, where'd it go? Here we go. Yeah, well, we'll stop this a little early. Again? Wait, did it freeze? No? Oh, it does that. I don't know what that's about. That one freezes up every once in a while. I'm not sure why my overhead, like my over-shoulder camera does that. Every once in a while it kind of decides it wants to freeze up. And like I said, it does that. No, but I was just doing filing little small pieces. So let's see how'd you guys go. Yeah. Well, let's clean this off too while I'm at it. I don't know how much I'm actually going to be using the glass file. I'll have to see. What's up, Edgar? Thanks for coming on. It's been a while since I've seen you. I know I didn't stream for a long time, so that was probably a big factor too, I'm sure. But came back in January, but I've been kind of hit and miss on streams. What's it say is on? Were you went with Anthony, or you just happened to be there the same weekend? Because I think Anthony went last Sunday. Like, I'm scheduled to be going tomorrow. We'll see. I mean, it was raining earlier here, so it'll probably be a big... so you did go with him. Yeah, it'll probably be a big kind of muddy mess tomorrow. Hopefully not too bad. It is. It's Pirate Weekend, and it's also Marketplace Weekend, which is part of the plan of why I want to go tomorrow. So you spend, I think, 150 or 250, something like that, and you get 2 free tickets for another weekend. Plan to use that one to go again for pub crawl. I've already got my tickets for that, so that's why I'm going. So yeah, that's the plan tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too, I guess, again, too muddy, and it makes too much of a mess of my outfit. I do have most of a pirate outfit. Alright, so coming back to this. Alright, so the last little bit of the build of this guy. Gonna get that done. See if I can get these seams out of the way. Still in the dice thing, huh? So yeah, let's go. Okay, yeah, seems like a pretty good deal. Were they at least nice dice? Nice die? So, I mean, that's part of my issue with the blind grab bags of dice. You don't know if they're going to look good or not. I mean, although I'm not much of a kind of big dice aesthetic kind of person anyway. Wow, there was a pretty bad seam on there actually. Let's see. Okay. Might have to go to that one when I don't have the kids with me. I'm planning to take the kids tomorrow. So we'll see how that actually pans out also. Because again, at least that way, easier to spend $250. When you got 2 kids saying, I want that. Well, only one really saying, I want that. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, probably when I go again for pub crawl, I'll check that one out. Okay. This one seems to be working for this part right here. I was worried about using the glass file for this. Yeah, looks like it's got still quite a bit of the panel line, and get enough squeezed out, it looks like. I'm not filing away too much material to try to get this done. Wait, this will probably be why I'm not getting much off either. Let's give it a cleaning again. Like I said, hopefully I'm not getting rid of too much material here. Doing this way. I have to go back and forth with this. Okay. Let's go back over this with the rough grit. See what happens now. Okay. There it goes. That's 400. Just a little bit there. Get it? Yeah, looks like. All right. 600 grit now. Just dropping. It says I still got 2 viewers on here. Thank you guys for being on. You guys are just not talking. Man, I get that. You don't have to. You don't have to entertain me. That's my job. I'm the one who's supposed to keep talking. Keep telling you guys what I'm doing wrong, why I'm doing what. But, I mean, again, it's kind of that late part of the night where I'm starting to, I guess, feel it. And so I kind of start zoning out a bit. And it's a bit also this part of the process where it's just kind of, you zone out. It's a bit of a, to appropriate a bit, kind of a zen feeling. You're going to, in the zone. And so, there isn't much to really be saying here, because I've said it 100 times before. I'm just kind of sanding, going through the different grits finer and finer to cause it to have less and less of kind of a rough texture when I'm done with it. I mean, after this, I figure I'm gonna paint this, so yeah, that part's attached there. Yeah, you just kind of zone out, right? You just kind of get into a zone and your brain goes somewhere else. And kind of that's what this part of the build process is like. Yeah, that's got a bit of the seam there. Oh, well. I mean, I guess I could try to get more of the material off. Exactly. I mean, I don't have a job where I can zone out. I'm supposed to be present and listening most of the day. And I mean, as it's supposed to. I mean, sometimes your brain does wander, no matter how much you try. But as long as I zoom in at the key parts when my clients are making breakthroughs, is good. So, pausing here. Yeah, back to there. As I was talking about earlier, the whole hand cramping thing with small pieces. Ooh. And again, I think part of it is also like I just kind of hold it too tight. I need to kind of work on not doing that. I need to remind myself to use up the grip, but part of it is also I don't want it to be sliding around on me either. part of the seam that is visible. At least will be hidden by the skirt, so that can work. We'll see how the bottom leg works out. We'll see. Alright. We'll sip. Is that the only red I have? I want to buy a whole filament of red just for that kit piece. But my red is really bad. I have so much of it. So, muttering to myself, I'm got my 3D printer stream going, making sure it's not falling apart on me, and it looks like it already is. So let's zoom in on this. Because I wanna, yeah, all the support that's supposed to be printing kind of fell apart. It's just kind of leaving blobs all over it. Yeah, I'll see if I can just sand it away as well. See if I can get away with that. You know what? I'm gonna leave it zoomed in like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So back to it. Yeah, that's gone. Alright. So, yeah, remind myself. Don't hold the piece too tightly. This is the last grit anyway. This is the finest grit that I use. At least as far as this part of the job. Let's go. Let's buff it as well. So mostly gone. There's some, I guess, marking again where the nub was. There's a little discoloration here as well. But again, I'm going to be painting it, so not that big a deal. We'll see how it turns out. Alright, so should I attach it now? Nah, I'll wait to do the last part of the build and then attach it all together. Get these out the way. I probably should clean this. Should have cleaned it earlier. Wasting recording time. There it goes. Buff and shine. Alright, so this part's done now. I know. Oh wait, last little beasts. put you away. Won't need you anymore. Like I said, put you away as well. Right. Tree here. Tree. This has a bit of a ridge. Convex shape. I can probably definitely use this and try to follow the contour. Particularly for this extra bit here. This. Again, holding too tight. But I am trying to get this part sanded and not have it move around too much. Excuse me. Zone out. Too much of a ridge right there, it looks like. a little better though. A little more. Able to get most of it done with the 400 grit at least then. That knocked down enough of the ridge, it looks like. Yeah. There's still a bit of ridge here also. Here's the fun one. Alright, it's break time. Come on. Alright, pause you. Alright. Actually go the full 2 hours. But let me kill this. Yeah, I mean, once I finish with this, the kit is mostly done. Like I said, so I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, most likely, because I will be just kind of brain dead from running around Ren Fair. So most likely starting next week, I'll be doing the painting. Hopefully by then, I've decided, I think I get like 3-day delivery on it. So if I decide by Wednesday to finally pull the trigger, I'll be doing the painting then. That's pretty much done with that one. Excuse me. Problem with sliming the A&W. Still had a lot of gas in it. Alright, so yeah, should be done with this today. Next Saturday or Sunday, don't want to lock myself into that yet, but if I do stream, like I said, if I make the decision by Saturday, not by Wednesday, the booth should come in and should have the opportunity to at least try to set it up and see how I want to get the camera set up for it. So yeah, that'll be the idea. We'll see how that actually plays out next week. Again, the intent is to do that, but we'll see what actually happens. After that, I don't know what I'm gonna choose to focus on. Well, I mean, I'll be getting most of my paint practice in with this kit. Well, I don't know about most of them, but a lot of paint practice in, which is kind of the point. And so we'll see how that actually plans out for me. Squeeze this guy enough. So there's a lot of material that I need to get rid of, and even 400 ain't cutting it. I have some 240, don't I? Probably. Okay. Seems to be working now. Here right now. Yeah, there it goes. Looks like it's there for most of this one. I do. I mean, yes, I'm going to be taking quite a bit of cash, but I'll show it off right now. Well, break. But yes, I do still have the bag of dollar coins. Well, I might decide to make a run in a bit to pick up some more. All right. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things about it. Seems to be getting almost too expensive to go. I'm like, pub crawl, again, my big kind of expenditure, as it were, is really expensive. And it's not even the same people anymore. I really need to meet those people and kind of get on their list. Apparently, the people who used to do the pub crawl have their own little impromptu pub crawl that they do. Kind of backwards, I think it was the last time I saw them. They run it backwards. And so, kind of want to get on that list to do theirs as well. No, 600. Really try to go a little further out as well with the different grits, with the higher grits. Just kind of try to smooth it out in that sense. Now, yeah, once the 400, I feel like once 400's done, and the further grits are a little easier to do. There is. So, the guys who used to run it, apparently, there was a big dust up a couple of years ago. I think just after coming back from the Panini. Well, when the Ren Fair came back from the Panini like 2-3 years ago, apparently there was some dust up with the guys who were running it. The official kind of Ren Fair kind of parted ways with them, but apparently they kind of did them dirty from what I'm hearing. And so, they're still in good with a lot of the people there. So, yeah, they have their own secret pub crawl. like I said, I kind of want to. I'm sure they'll recognize me. As much as I always get weirded out by the fact that I am recognizable, I recognize also I am hard to miss once people notice me. So, they probably will, and definitely do recognize them. So, kind of can ask them, like, hey, how do I get on that list? So that I can do it maybe one of the following years. I just found out about it last year, actually, because I saw them running around and I asked about it. I actually made the whole, like, why aren't you doing it this year? Because, like, I know a couple of years ago, the main guy had kind of stepped back because he was having some issues with his throat. And so that's why he had kind of backed out. But when he came back, then that happened. Or at least that's the story that I got. Pretty much finishing just in time for my headphones to be dying out on me. So, almost perfect timing. Somehow I got scratched. I'm gonna have to go through all the grids again. It's just to get that down. Yes, headphones, I know. Yeah, I should probably cut them off now. I'll leave them to charge tonight. Yeah, I don't remember to be doing this over here, where the camera will actually see it, because I want it to be seen on the camera for when I eventually put it on YouTube. There it goes. A little better. Okay, so mostly gone is the pen line. Alright, so now attach this guy. Alright, the foot. Yeah, so try to make the Crocs, but they're almost too small. I need to make them just a little bit bigger to fit into that hole. Really wish I could, because just silliest idea. Come on. You. Go in there. There it goes. Okay. And then with that, he is done. Zaku 1 is finished. So, backpack done, leg done, panel line pretty much gotten rid of on both legs. Panel line's mostly done. So yeah, now, well, not panel lines, the seam lines mostly done, and just in time too. Cool. Alright, so yeah, the kind of straight build is done. So now it kind of comes the decision of the painting. Like I said, I'll probably decide by Wednesday for sure if I buy the air booth, the kind of spray booth portable one, and get that done. So yeah, there we go. High grade next to the technically no grade Nipako, a little smaller, but yeah. The gun is here. I could attach it, I guess. So yeah, let's do that. Down, this out, kind of balancing him. Yeah, I'm gonna have to decide to glue this part in, I think, just because keeps popping out. Let's do that. Alright, so leave that. I guess I won't do this, but alright, so I'll figure out how to pose them later. But so headless horseman for right now.